up, guys? I'm back. I wanted to apologize for the lack of update uploads. It's been a second. I've skipped out on doing reviews for games before. I'm not doing that this time. You guys are gonna get this review. It's my review, as you can see, on Watch Dogs Legion Bloodline. Crossover, nice crossover DLC between Aiden Pierce and Wrench from the two previous Watch Dogs games. Now, I want to be the first one to say, I do not hate this game. This DLC. I don't know what else to tell you about the main game, but I am like stoked. I was stoked, and I was still stoked when I was playing this game. This game is really, really cool. I like the characters. The characters are very, very relatable. I mean, given the fact that two of them I've played as before. I liked that it takes place like later on down the line in their journeys. Jackson, being a lot older, definitely played a role in Aiden Pierce's life. The conclusion. I guess it's not necessarily the conclusion, but he's, basically, this is sort of like, hey, he's not gonna like hold all the misery and sorrow that he's carried over the years. I loved that story, by the way. That little story arc for Aiden Pierce and him being able to see his nephew again, because I was like, wow, like Jackson got older, and plus we got to play as him. Playing as him definitely added a different type of atmosphere. It definitely added a different type of atmosphere. Plus, you play as like three characters in this game, which I felt was really cool because you kind of only played as them as you needed to. Some things I really didn't like about this section in particular was, I guess, Aiden's like model. I think Aiden looks really cool, like the way he is. Like, of course, like there's always the OG Aiden Pierce. If you look back at the first game, I'm guessing like in this particular part of the game, they tried to get his model as exact. I don't know if it was a recycled model from the first game, but I thought it was a little weird. I felt like they could have either used his first model from the old game and then put it in here, because clearly you see the way that they have him in this game. You're like, oh, okay, that's his younger self. So part of me didn't understand, like, why didn't they just use his old model from the first game? That they clearly got that one exact. They could have just given him a beard. With Aiden's new model in this game, he looks a little he looks old, and he's supposed to look old. But I felt like they could have just added some facial hair to the old model. That would have looked cool. His model, his new model just doesn't look very similar to me. Wrench pretty much stayed the same. His outfit, it looks a little different, but not too different to the point where you don't recognize him. Wrench was always like chilling with the spiky leather coat and that mask. I felt like that was really, really cool. I loved the hacking. The hacking in this game was amazing. The upgrade system, I particularly did like the upgrade system. The upgrading in this game was pretty fun. I think there's just a lot of small things and certain things that I will get to later on down the line that really made this game less fun for me. So for some of the cutscenes, I don't know if any of you paid attention to them, but in some of the cutscenes, you can tell that some of the sound design, some of the sound work is a little off. So at the beginning of the first mission, when, I'm sorry I don't have it up for you guys, but if you want to, you can go see the first video and check that out. For the first mission, you see Aiden and Wrench fighting on top of Wrench's giant drone, and you notice that some of the punches, some of the sound effects are a little off. I don't know if this DLC was rushed. I really hope it wasn't, because I liked it. But there were just some things that I guess I didn't really like particularly about that part of the game. Some of the sound work was a little off in certain cutscenes, especially crucial moments. I don't know if it's a glitch or anything, but that just happened. Like I said before, the story is really, really cool. I don't get this bland feeling from it either. Aiden was a good character, but I'd have to say Wrench was a better one for me. Aiden's story, however, is better, which is probably why, basically the way that he is he's always been the fox, but he's always been like tortured, tormented in the mind because of the story, of what happened to his niece and everything. I totally understand like why he would seem like a little different compared to Wrench. Wrench's personality overall, like he was the exact same character that he was from Watch Dogs 2, and I loved every single second of it. I loved his jokes. I loved his one-liners. Like you can see me in these videos like laughing at him because Wrench was a part of the reason why I wanted to play this game. If it was just Aiden, I probably would have played it as well, but I don't know if I would have enjoyed it as much if it weren't like having Aiden and Wrench at the same time. So like that was really really cool as well. Yeah. So like I said, there were some parts of the game that really kind of skipped out on like I guess certain parts. So throughout the course of the game, when you upgrade your character, you're given the ability to like take control of like certain drones. You're able to control certain vehicles. You're able to make drones betray the henchmen that are surrounding you. So I'll be very very honest. I did not like when they skipped on opportunities for certain things, particularly with the giant robots. So I'm trying to remember what they were called. They're called Rads. I'm trying to remember right now. But they were the giant robots that they moved pretty slow, but they were very, very resourceful, and they always saw where you were. They could see right through the walls. They could find you. There is so like there's a particular mission, a side mission where you play as Wrench. I believe it's a job that you do for Jordy, and basically you have to get this one robot, and you have to make it start moving, and you move it right outside of the out of the facility. So once you get it out of the facility, you're able to like attack a bunch of like henchmen that come after you and everything. And this robot is just OP. It's like seriously. Now, I didn't like that was like so exclusive to that particular mission, because that would have been that would have made the experience like fighting against those robots so much cooler. And those robots were so irritating. I'm gonna get to like those robots in a second. Those robots were just so irritating. The ability to overheat and betray them for me just wasn't enough to like take down like the henchmen and everything. Also, even when you would like overheat them and they had their like that super like sonic blast on, it wouldn't deactivate anything. They would still go on to attack you and then probably betray the henchmen right afterwards. So I didn't like that the betray button really didn't do much. In my opinion, it really should have been like, I guess, better looked at. I really think they should have put some more thought into that. I think Ubisoft could have like given the players like a better opportunity to control certain drones. You could definitely take control of a lot of the other drones in this game, but you gotta go like back and forth, working like with Aiden's side missions and Wrench's side missions. I ended up like really not needing them because I just wanted to play through the story. I didn't really feel like playing all the side missions until like after I was done with the game. I think it could have been really cool if you could control the drones. Now, granted, you probably like be moving the drone really slow, but if you could take control of all these flying drones, why not be able to take control of those robots? That would have been so cool. Plus, like in the end, Wrench ends up getting one. So, he has a drone that he uses to fly around. We saw Wrench Jr. as well. I think they passed upon an opportunity for us to be able to use the drone. So yeah, that's how I feel. Also, right here. So this is the quality's a little low because I was exporting a video from my Xbox. So in a mission, when you play as Wrench, you get control of this cool like invisible car. Now, I wanted to test it to see if it was actually invisible because I wanted to see how like oblivious the AI was. So the NPCs, they can tell it's a car. I didn't like that the NPCs knew that it wasn't like an invisible car. Like for me, if it was really an invisible car, the NPCs wouldn't be able to see it. Like that would have been pretty cool if the NPCs couldn't see the car. So like say they're just walking through the street, they don't see the car, and you just end up hitting them. But that's because they clearly didn't know. See, all these NPCs here are reacting completely, because in the game the NPCs, they're just reacting to some car. It's just a car. Uh, yeah. So that part really didn't like. It's like, I'm not saying go crazy about it, but it's like another thing that I didn't really like in particular about the game was you know certain things that happen throughout the course of the story. So at the beginning of the story, Wrench pops up because he was using some type of cloaking device. You know, so this is kind of like the mask that you get to wear in like the main storyline, in the main campaign of Watch Dogs Legion. You get this really cool mask, and you're able to like um, you're able to like turn invisible for about 10 seconds, which I believe is an appropriate amount of time to turn invisible. I kind of would want it to be a little longer, but it's different. Um, it's different from like this DLC. So when Wrench uses it, sometimes I'm like, hey, wait a second, we're not able to use that. So like I said, this is sort of like, I think, some of the opportunities that Ubisoft missed out on like giving us. Plus, it's like he uses it in the last like I believe the last cutscene of the game. He uses it to like beat Rampart, and I'm like, hey, why are you like, why are you using that? Like, I was like, we didn't get to use that throughout the entire course of the game. You cannot use the invisible mask. You can't. It doesn't cloak you. You can only use one of the upgrades, I believe, from Aiden, to cloak people's bodies when you knock them out, or like kill them. So when you knock them out, you can you'll either immediately cloak them, or you can hold Y when you're hovering over them to turn them invisible, so that enemies don't see their bodies. So like, I'm like, dude, hey, why don't we have that? That would have been really nice in many like different scenarios, especially for some of these missions, because some of these missions were just crazy. Other than that, the missions were okay, but this final mission drove me crazy. This one, first off, it's in two parts. So the first one is with the ship. You have to infiltrate it. You have to, you gotta get over to this command center, and then once you do that, you gotta get over to these giant batteries or power sources. Then you gotta destroy them. So I end up getting all that done pretty much. It's not too hard necessarily, but after that, you have to hack this giant power source on the back of the boat, and it was so broken. It was so broken, and I'm not even talking about the boss fight, like the final boss. I'm talking about like this mission. This mission was just unbelievable. There were guards seeing you everywhere that you went. The robots saw you everywhere that you went. The robots can't unsee you. You can't hide from them. They'll see you through any wall. So yeah, this final mission was ridiculous. Like straight like cheese, man. It was ridiculous. They were spawning in drones when I started hacking the power source. And I never saw where they were coming from. I never saw where the drones were coming from. They were always terrorizing me. So eventually I get to the final boss. And when we get to the final boss, this mission is so ridiculous. So I'm ready to fight this giant dude. I see that he's got like missiles and stuff. Thinking, okay, easy peasy. Gonna have to put up with like a little bit of nonsense. But then he brings the guards in, and I'm like, oh my gosh. So I gotta deal with this dude shooting missiles at me. It's like, my goodness. He's got all these henchmen hovering around you, shooting at you, and at the same time you have to avoid all these missiles. Not to mention, the further you go on, like throughout the battle, he's gonna start shooting more. He starts shooting more missiles at you. It's ridiculous, man. It is so ridiculous. So yeah, that drove me crazy. And to top that all off, you had to deal with him activating robots as well. So once he activates the robots, it's like his curtains. I cannot win this mission. I'm so done with it. I'm so done with the game. I got so mad that I rage quit. If you want to check that out, you can you can go see that video. I'll probably put it up for you guys. yeah, so like this mission was just annoying, and like to have it in two parts that are just a whole bunch of nonsense. It really was a whole bunch of nonsense. The missions were hard for no reason. When you're fighting the main boss, you can't hack everything because you can't hack a lot of stuff because like you have to deal with the guards. It's slow. You get stuck. I played this mission for like hours and hours and hours. I was dying every single time. Um, Now, with the first part of this mission, you don't have to deal with like worrying about checkpoints because everything that you do is pretty much saved. But when you get to the final boss, let's say you get like close to the last bar. If you die, Ubisoft decided that if you die, you have to start all the way over. You have to start all over. You have to start all over. Which means you got to redo shooting at all of the pressure points that the enemy has. You got to redo like avoiding all of the enemies. You got to redo taking all of them down. You got to redo avoiding the missiles at the same time. Then you have to put up with. By the time I had died like the fifth or sixth time playing this mission, I had already put up with like 3 robots. I think he activated 2, but I think he activated 2 like later on in the middle of it, but at the end I'm pretty sure I was fighting 3 of them. I was putting up with 3 robots. They don't overheat that fast, and I can't overheat more at the same time because I can only use overheat once. So yeah, the robots are just, they're not helping. I really wish Aiden played a better role in the final boss. It would have been nice. I mean, Jackson is different. I feel like it would have been cooler if Aiden was there. Again, I just didn't understand why the cloaking tech didn't come in handy during this mission. It really would have been really nice if we had been able to use the cloaking tech in one of the final missions. That definitely would have come in handy. I felt like it was a waste. So that was something that irritated me. It really did irritate me. But I've said before, I do not hate this game. I do love this game. The DLC is amazing. It's 10 times better than the main campaign of the game. Simply because it's like, I think Watch Dogs Legion should have been Wrench's game. It really would have been cool because you only played as him once in the final mission. For a couple minutes at the end of 2. So it really would have been nice if Wrench got his own game. I think he deserves it. Like I said, Ubisoft, make it happen, please. We want Wrench to be happy. And Wrench was just so funny. His one-liners and his remarks, his jokes, they really got me through this game. It was hilarious. I felt like I was playing 2 a little bit. Plus that really cool returns, like that really cool like cameo from Marcus Holloway when he came back. That was fire. I really loved that. If you want to check out that bonus video, I might put it up as well. And so I hope you guys enjoyed this review. This is just all my opinion. If you guys have played the game, I'd like to hear yours. But if you haven't played the game, I would recommend it to you. I would recommend it to anybody. I'm sorry for the spoilers, though. Hopefully I put a spoilers warning so you know not to watch this if you do plan on playing the game. But I hope you all enjoyed this walkthrough. I certainly did. Run into a few bumps in the road, but it was nice. It was a really nice game. It was, like I said, 10 times better than the main story. And it was nice seeing these 2 characters come back. I hope you enjoyed this little review of mine. And I plan to get another video out for you guys soon. 2 cents. Out.